And so this is the right time for me to just talk about what's coming up. I invite you to consider participating. Take one and pass them around. It's going to be way more than you need. There'll be plenty of extras. So tomorrow night is the next Family Constellations evening. So truly, I participated in Constellations about, at least for 2 years before I took the training. And by the time I took the training, the framework was pretty much part of my thinking. So just coming, attending, it's only $5 to attend.
Invaluable.
And you get a lot of your own change work out of it, because if you represent in other people's constellations and you say represent in a family that's out of order and gets put into order, that you get something from that, you know? For those of you who are in business, it looks like I'm probably going to be focusing more and more on doing applying all the change work stuff that I know to helping people either get started on an identity, self-employment identity, and sort of getting their business up and running, or for those of you who are in it already, but there's something stuck or not moving or difficult about that. So one way I want to support y'all and continue to learn myself is I'm doing these monthly free calls. Okay. We did our first one last month. It was awesome. It was really, really great. So let me know you want to participate. I'll get you the information for that. If you can't make it, register anyway, and you can get the recording. Basically, I'm bringing this stuff to doing change work over the phone. The next thing coming up, July and August. Yes, I'm optimistic. People will sign up for things in the summer. Is a 6-week teleseries, and this is on the back. And I just want you to notice what I'm calling this, because this is the foundation for it. And Beth knows about this. The title is "You Are of Infinite Value." Okay.
That's beautiful.
And then the ancestral basis for money problems and their solutions. The first reframe is we cannot mix up our value with money. There's no link between the two. Our value is like you could be given all the money in Fort Knox and you'd still not represent how valuable you are. Okay? The problem is we don't have that internalized, and so we equate our value with our interactions with money. Understandably. Yeah? But this confusion, we can understand how it happens. Yeah? So at any rate, if you have poverty in your background, if you have betrayals in your background, if you have great losses in your background, if you had scheming, nasty, rich people in your background, whatever it is, or you don't know. By the end of the 6 weeks, there will be a lot of clearing. And the teleseries format is a really good format for doing this kind of ancestral work. It's really, really nice.
Can I just say,
please,
I've taken 2 teleseries from you.
Yeah.
Awesome, awesome, just super powerful. Super powerful. I really like that format.
Yeah, and it's nice. You can do it in your PJs.
Yeah, yeah. That's what I wanted to do.
No one needs to be on Google Hangouts, although we could do it that way now.
Yeah.
It's just super simple. You just get on the phone. You have to make sure your phone's charged. That's about it. Okay. Free for those of you new clients. I do free phone consultations, 30, 45-minute phone consultations. Sign up on the sign-in sheet if you're interested in that. You're beginning to get a feeling, not only do I work in this Constellation format, but I have the NLP format. It's a really powerful set of combinations for stuck patterns, basically. It's the simplest way to put it. So if you just want to find out more, if you want to explore one of your own a little bit more, person to person, sign up for that. And then for those of you who are thinking, wow, it's time, I took on a chunk of work, private sessions and constellations. I work in Oakland, also by Skype, and constellation work. So feel free to connect with me about any of that. Okay? And if you missed any of that, William, no worries. I'm going to be sending out an email to everybody summarizing this stuff. Okay, that goes aside. Now it's going to get really juicy. Because now what I want to do, to the degree that we can within the contrivance of this space, is we lost somebody. We lost Stephanie again. She had to use the restroom or something?
Yeah, her stuff's all.
I messed up.
Oh no,
I upset somebody.
finishing her drink.
The woman's purse is here. She's committed.
So leave one on her chair, okay? So this is the next worksheet. Actually, leave that one with me so we can talk about it. Take one.
Are these the same?
Yes, they're all the same. Take one, pass it around. So this is a checklist. Now, a checklist is absurd in this context, but it's a useful learning tool. So what I'm going to do is, and William's going to be part of this as well, so one of you is going to be matched with William. My apologies, William doesn't have a webcam, so you're going to be interacting with his avatar.
Fun.
So some of the stuff you're not going to be able to track, so you're just going to have to be able to track it verbally with William. I want you to get into a conversation with somebody. Okay? And first, some context for the conversation. First, you're both going. I'm going to ask you guys to split up. Actually, you know each other too well. And anyone who knows each other well, just try and split up.
Busted.
I saw you guys doing safety, 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 which is good. We want relationships where we feel really safe. So the client, so you're going to switch off. One of you is going to be the practitioner, the other one's going to be the client, then you'll switch. Okay? The client, you're just going to choose a problem or issue you would like some change in. Okay? If you can make it a little juicy for your practitioner to work with, that would be great. It can be something you've already looked at already today. That's fine.
By juicy, you mean charged?
Juicy,
Broad.
charged,
Salacious.
important. It actually matters to you. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
And don't feel like you have to do your most vulnerable thing. If it's something you wouldn't feel like good about having incomplete or worked with inelegantly, which we're all learning here, so it might be inelegant, and that will be too tender for you, then you have full freedom to not choose that one. Okay. Practitioner, you're going to use what skills you have from your own modalities to have an open, explorative, agendaless conversation. Okay? So please don't be thinking about how I can steer this into this whatever way of understanding things that I have, either through constellations or something else. You're going to mostly use open-ended questions rather than yes-no questions. That's a good rule of thumb. So how do you feel about that rather than do you sometimes feel angry about that? All you're going to get is yes-no about that, right? At this point, no advice or instruction. Generally a stance of curiosity, kindness, and respect. Right now, and so here, that's just the conversation part, okay? You're going to do that the way you know how to do that. You know, UNLP people will be asking your NLP questions. EFT people will be asking their, if you don't have a modality, then that's fine. Just have a curious conversation. Your assignment is to look for devotional patterns, and this is what the checklist is for. So this is your second worksheet, William, okay? Worksheet number 2, devotional patterns. So you're going to do that for 15 minutes each. Obviously, it's not going to end, you know, in a perfect way. I'm just going to end you. You can be as curious about the content as you want to be, but your assignment is to notice the devotional patterns. That's what you're, sometimes when you have to work a new muscle, you let the muscle you work really well aside for a minute so that you can work the new muscle a bit. So you're going to be more focusing on devotional patterning. So going back to the worksheet, you might just write down the client's problem or issue at the top, just so, yeah. And see, these are some of the things you might look for as you go along. Client has an innocent smile while talking about the problem. Okay? Client seems to be saying, I promise to always have this problem. There's sort of like, there's a commitment to it, even as they're saying, I don't want this problem, right? They can explicitly mention parents or other ancestors. That's them tipping their hat in an obvious way. Or you can ask, gosh, you know, does anyone else have this thing going on to your knowledge? I don't know, whatever questions you come up with. You have that feeling of something missing. Something's missing. I don't know what it is. This is another way to look at the checklist. Client seems to be intensely triggered. What's the emotion, and what else do you notice or wonder about it? Too many moving pieces to track. The system the client is in is overwhelming or in some way not very trackable. Client has been stuck with this problem forever or a very long time despite trying to fix it lots of different ways. Client doesn't have the problem, their identity almost is the problem. That's another one. And then I just made room, other things you notice that come off this list are things you're beginning to sort of track or notice. Okay? This is a, can all the perfectionists leave the room? I invite you to be sloppy and elegant in learning mode. Be okay with, and as the client, please be generous with your practicing person. Just, you know, I am in support of the learning of this person is a really good stance to have when you're practicing, when you're a pretend client. And you're not pretend because who knows, you just may get the insight or the aha you've been looking for. So at this point you don't have to do anything, you're just tracking. We're going to come back later on for you to see if there's something you can do. Okay. So I wanted to break it down a little bit. So other than the limitations I just asked for, and for someone who's like, oh, I want to track it verbally, then your person is William. Otherwise, just do some pairs. Please arrange yourselves.
I'm happy to work with William.
Awesome.
Good.